Drink jacket? Yeah, I got one of them.
Alrighty, guys. Congratulations on making the final table. At this final table, all of the same rules are going to apply that have applied the entire tournament. With the only exception, when we do get down to heads-up play, if you notice, first and second place are both 15,580. When we do get down to heads-up, whoever wins will win all of the remaining bounties in play, in addition to the 15,580. Second place will win 15,580, and none of the additional bounties that are left in play, okay?
About how much?
It really depends on if the smaller stacks get knocked out or the bigger one. So if the bigger stacks get knocked out, that's more bounties that come out of play. So it kind of depends on how that works. I can get a total for you in a minute, but I think it's actually I have to remember it's about 12,000-ish in play right now.
Thank you.
All right, poker enthusiasts, thank you for tuning in here at DogHouse Poker Club out of Cypress, Texas.
Federal tax.
We are here with live coverage
Fourth place and up. We will
from
be issuing
our
you a W2G.
final table of the Stars and Stripes $100,000 guaranteed progressive knockout bounty tournament.
We will be issuing you a W2G for fourth place and above. And it is on y'all to take care of that.
We'll listen to my little pre-final table spiel here, and then
or a W7.
we will get cards in the air here shortly.
Lines are still 25,000, 50,000, 50,000. I think after this next level, we are going to take a break. I'm going to skip that break, and then following that, the next break we'll race off the 5,000s, and then we'll have a break every 2 levels at the final table, okay? A short 5-minute break after every 2 levels. This is live streamed, obviously. These cards are a little bit more fragile than normal, so kind of be careful when you're looking at them. They have little chips inside of them. When you get dealt your cards, just put them in your square for a few seconds, look at them, and then return them back to the square. Time to time, the dealer may ask you to reposition your cards in your square if we do not get a good reading from them. Everything's going to be on a 30-minute delay, so I'm going to be back here watching what happened 30 minutes ago and talking about it. They can watch on it. Anybody who wants to watch at home, friends, family, all the links are right here. We're going to be live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. This will be able to be rewatched later on as well on YouTube. Know that there are 2 microphones directly above us, so whatever you say will be broadcasted to the internet for forever and ever and ever. That being said, I do not care what you say whatever you will. Just know that it will be heard and recorded. Does anybody have any questions for me? All right, congrats, guys. Let's go ahead and get these cards in the air.
All right. Here we go. The first hand of this final table.
Good luck, everybody.
This was a $300 buy-in progressive knockout bounty tournament. We had 8 total starting flights. We are down to the final 9 out of 640 runners. My name is Josh. I'm the tournament director here at DogHouse Poker Club. I am joined tonight by the one and only Adam.
Mr. Adam Pearson.
Mr. Adam Pearson.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight.
Thank you, thank you. Well, I think we've got a good little stream ahead of us here. I think we've definitely got a lot of play at this final table. We got some deep stacks. We got a few short stacks. I think it's going to be some good coverage here.
And we got some big bounties.
Big bounties. You see up there at the top of your screen, each player has a different bounty amount assigned to them. And they are listed right up there. When a player is eliminated from the tournament, the person busting them will collect half of that amount in cash. The other half will be added to their bounty. That is how a progressive knockout works here. It's kind of an interesting format on a tournament for sure. I think everybody who's played it has had a great time. I know I've had a great time running this tournament. Thanks to everybody, all 640 of you who came out and played in this event. We very much enjoyed having you here, and we hope to see you here again soon. More to come. All right. So tonight, I am joined by the dealers who are dealing this table. They are alternating between dealing on the table and coming back here commentating with me. So now I am joined by the one and only Dexter. He is currently on screen right there in the box. That is Dexter. We are on a 30-minute delay, so he's going to come in here and watch himself deal for a little bit and talk with me and
so many things I can mess up in 30 minutes.
Yeah, so here we go.
And we got our first hand all in of the night. Two of the same hands, both suited. So
You see there,
Hard, sir.
Creighton is actually a 51% favorite to win this hand. He has not favorite to win this hand, but he has 2% more than Jeremiah has, and that is because we know what cards have been folded. And the flop is going to come out, and now it's going to need runner.
clubs.
And that is not going to do it. We will most definitely be chopping this one up. Almost like the hand didn't even happen.
Almost.
So if you see those green and black chips there and the players' stacks, those are their bounty chips. And if you look up there at the top of the screen, next to their names, we have their listed bounty amounts. That is how much their bounty is worth.
You saw the chip count there. You see Renata down with 1% of the chips. Last time at the 100K when the final table started, our second place finisher started with our third place finisher started with 1% of the chips in play.
Yeah.
So anything can happen. Renata is not down and out. She does need to make something happen pretty quick here, though.
We are playing 40-minute levels here. Definitely plenty of time to make something happen, but she's definitely going to have to make it happen.
She's in the cutoff, so she got a few hands to look at. And Ahmad picking up jacks here under the gun +1. See how he decides to play these.
The old hooks.
Old hooks.
See how he elects to
hooked.
play this. He's
And
going
does
to
spin for a
min
raise.
click it, looks like. 125.
And Jeremiah just dumping the ace-10 off there. That's a pretty disciplined fold, really.
Yeah, I mean,
And Renata
ace
waking
10
up
really
with-
gets you in trouble.
It does. Don't like this
That's a
one here.
pretty good hand for Renata with her 2 big blinds. Yeah,
And
she's
she
going to
does
get that
stick 'em in
all
there.
in. Our count says that is 130,000.
That it is.
And that is just 5,000 more than Ahmad's raise.
And now that there's a bounty in play and the action is closed, Little Dan might be coming in defending from the big blind.
Yeah, the action is closed, so that means Ahmad cannot raise when it gets back to him. If both players in front of him just call here. So Ahmad can only call or fold here. He's definitely not folding.
Definitely not folding. He says all in, but we know he can't go all in. So he does make the call, another guy sticks it in.
So that's some free information here for all of the other players in this hand, with Ahmad saying all in and then being told he can't go all in.
Flop brings.
Ace 10 deuce. Wow. What a flop that would have been for JJ.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Ahmad coming in with the bet here. Let's see what Dylan does with this ace. No kicker, no backdoor flush draw. It's not a good spot, especially whenever Ahmad wanted to just go back all in pre-flop.
Yeah.
With that information.
And Renata's really not in the worst shape here.
No, she got a gutter.
She can catch a jack, which would give Ahmad a set. So that's unlikely. But if Dylan isn't in the hand, she could catch a king or a queen.
Yeah, best case scenario is he folds.
Wow,
He
does fold.
It's a disciplined fold. Fold's the best hand, but probably the right fold.
Little Dan folds as well.
Yeah.
Action is going to be completed, I believe, and we are off to the races. So Renata's going to need
27% equity.
She's going to need to catch a king, a queen, or a jack here.
2 of the remaining jacks, 2 of the remaining kings, and 1 queen, as we can see at the top of our screen.
No help on the turn.
See if the river can bring it in for her. And it does
It
not.
does not.
Renata will be the first person to walk away from this final table.
Bounty on 12.
So Renata had 250 in bounties here. So Ahmad is going to win 125 in cash, and 125 is going to be added to his bounty. So I'm going to get those updated for you guys here.
And if you guys like a count on the bounties, Billy is in the lead with $2,675 worth of bounties. That's a huge payout for anybody who knocks him out. This was only a $300 buy-in, and as you can see, just getting one knockout on this final table could almost double or triple your buy-in.
Absolutely. All right, there are those bounties up there, updated for your viewing pleasure. See if I can make those just a tad bit bigger for y'all.
That's a little too big. There you go. Perfect.
And there we go. Our first elimination of the night.
Raise.
Here goes Jeremiah with the ace jack off, opening up under the gun +1.
So Renata is going to take home $1,850 for her 9th place finish here, plus whatever bounty she accrued throughout the tournament.
Congratulations, Renata. She's a regular here, plays all the time. Her and her husband are really nice people, and we love to see them in.
Absolutely.
And here we go. I got a king suited, king 6 of hearts, and a big blind. Thinking about a defend, but decides better of it. And talks Jeremiah into showing the ace jack, so good word play there, speech play.
Nicole and Rochelle joining us in the Facebook chat. Welcome in, ladies. Lovely to see you here, as always. Rochelle is rooting for Billy. If you're here with us in the chat, let us know who you're rooting for at this final table.
And Jeremiah just limping in the king queen suited. Under the gun. It's a good play. 40% of a royal flush is a pretty strong hand. And it looks like we're going to play a multi-way limp pot unless the blinds decide to get a little spicy. And it doesn't look like they have the hands to do it with either. So, see how it plays out. Six ways to a flop. Well, Houston heads up, as we say here in Houston. And ace high board with 2 hearts, ace king 7. Dylan flopping the nut low flush draw, and Jeremiah flopping the best hand with middle pair, best kicker. And checks around to the button. Little Dan decides he's going to take a stab at it. He doesn't think anybody's that strong in this hand, and it's a pretty good read. And he gets the best hand to fold, so now if he can just get through Billy, he'll have the best hand against this 3-half flush draw. I don't think Dylan's going to fold to one bet here. He's probably going to try to peel one off, see if he can make it.
Yeah, it does have a backdoor wheel draw as well.
A
lot of good,
draw.
Yeah, a lot of really good turn cards for Dylan.
Yeah, there's some cards that allow him to continue.
You see up there, he does have 12 outs.
Yeah, he can pairs deucers 3. Now he does turn the backdoor wheel draw.
15 outs now.
It's basically a flip at this point. 47% equity for Dylan. To have the nut low, that's a lot of equity.
Yeah.
There. And Dan decides to keep on blasting at it, trying to get him out, even though he doesn't know he's technically value betting his jack high, getting value from a worse hand. And the river pairs Littleton's card, his side card, so he might check this back thinking he has enough showdown value instead of blasting at it, but Dylan does now receive the check mark with the 3-half flush and checks it over to Dan, and he decides to bet his 8. I think you can check this back sometimes because you just pick up showdown value. Like, I don't think he's gonna fold a king for 300,000, so I don't. And here we ran into a little situation.
Floor,
So
table 12.
whenever a player throws in one of their bounty chips into the pot, it's considered always an all-in. The action's always an all-in. It cannot be a call. What Dylan did was he checked and then he threw out one green bounty chip to signify he was all in. Little Dan thought that one chip was just a one-chip call and tabled his hand. So now that Dan has tabled his hand, Dylan tabled his hand, thinking that Dan had called him. So that is the situation. Here's Josh, who's with us in the booth. It's weird how that works.
Yeah.
Instantly table his hands that I have
And here to make a ruling, so I'll let him explain his ruling to you guys. if you'd like.
So he's all in, and it's your action.
Think about it.
So in situations like this, obviously it's pretty unfortunate, you know. But at the end of the day, Little Dan did not make an action after Dylan went all in. He just tabled his cards and said, "I have an 8." You know, that does not signify a call. That does not signify a fold. There was no action made after Dylan went all in. You know, I always recommend to players in situations like that. I actually told Dylan this. We might hear it later on the stream. I actually told him, you know, in situations like that, I always recommend that the players, if they ever have any question of what has happened, what the action is, just ask the dealer, is that a call? What was the action? What are, you know, where are we at right now?
What is going on? Yeah, if you're not 100% sure, never show your, that's advice I would give you as a dealer. Never show your cards unless you know for sure you see that your chips go in the pot that have been called off.
Yeah. So like I said, it's an unfortunate situation. You know, I really don't envision Lil Dan calling off his entire stack there. He's bluffing the entire way. You know, he just happened to hit a pair on the river. You know, I think the result is always the same in the end had he realized that the other player went all in or not.
100%. And that happened 100%.
You know, and that's why I made the ruling that I did there.
Things do happen.
In other news, Roger's got a hand on the button. We're going to see some action from him.
We got some Dylan fans in the chat. You can see Dylan just won about a 2 million chip pot the last hand, so
good time to be a Dylan fan, I guess, huh?
Good time to be a Dylan fan. And now Roger raising on the button with ace-10 off, and Little Dan have limping the king-6 suited, decides to let it go. Sitting on 6 big blinds, he does need to make something happen pretty quick here. Here you can see our VPIP, Jeremiah being the most active player, and Kathy playing no pot so far.
If you are unfamiliar with what VPIP stands for, it stands for voluntarily put in pot. So those percentages you just saw on the screen there is the amount of times that the players have voluntarily placed any of their chips into the pot, whether it be a call, a raise, any action besides a blind.
If there's ever any question like that, check with the dealer. Is that a call? Yeah, it's just how it's. I didn't even know it had done that. But
yeah, and there I am right there explaining to Dylan, you know, exactly what I just said. You know, situations like that are unfortunate. You know, that one happened really quick. You know, Lil Dan tabled his hand. You know, it appears that Dylan obviously thought he called because he immediately tables his you know, nut low flush. And you know, it's unfortunate how it worked out, but that was just me explaining to Dylan in situations like that. Always try to make sure you know what the action is before you table your cards. You know, because in a different situation, you know, maybe Lil Dan has a set there. You know, maybe he has 2 pair. Maybe he might call his all in. Right,
exactly.
You know, and then in a situation like that, that could really cost Dylan some value
stack, right,
for
yeah,
sure.
or a bounty if you had him covered for. And here, talking about the most active player at the table, wakes up with 2 kings in the small blind, facing an open from Kathy. Her first hand that she's decided to play with the king-10 off.
How nice is it to be the most active player at the table and then just wake up with kings in the small blind, dude?
Isn't it beautiful? It's an easy game.
Yeah, it looks like a raise is going to take this one down. We're not going to see any cards, and that is never a bad thing when you're playing at a final table.
Sure.
Winning hands without a showdown is always a good thing.
Winning any hands is always a good thing.
Absolutely.
And now you can see our chip counts. Mr. Billy sitting with 42% of the chips in play. Little Dan, our short stack, needing to make something happen, sitting on about 6 big blinds.
Mr. Billy, all the chips, all the bounties as well. So Billy has 2,675 in his bounty stack right now. So that means he's accumulated about $2,600 in bounties already. He's already been paid out for those. So he's having a pretty good little run on this day 2 restart.
Not a bad day, I don't think.
And he's definitely looking to continue it at this final table.
And he's sitting here
with his dominating chip lead. Over 7 million in chips. We are at a 50K big blind currently.
Cost you $125,000 per orbit to stay in the game. So Billy having plenty of chips to sit there and be picking.
Look at Jeremiah again.
Picking up big hands. Like you said, it's nice to be the most active player at the table and keep picking up big hands.
Yeah.
Picks up ace queen suited on the button. And just flats Kathy's open. So they're going heads up. And the flop is ace king 7.
All right, so Kathy does flop a pair, decides to check it over to Jeremiah with the overwhelming best hand here.
Yeah, top is really strong here. He does go ahead and go for a small bet once it's checked over to him. And him being the most active player, I don't mind her defense here at all, thinking he can be stabbing a lot. And now he turns 3 aces, so Kathy is drawing dead.
Oh, that's a bad card for Kathy.
Oh, my God, that's the absolute worst card for Kathy because she's got to think her king's good here. She bets, and he raises for the other 500K doing her stack. And she's probably got to be putting him on a king, trying to push her off of a chop possibly, especially once the turn goes check.
Oh.
And she does make the call. And it's going to see
Wow.
the bad news.
That is going to do it for Kathy at this final table. Our 8th place finisher. What an unfortunate river card.
That
I
is
think,
very
I mean,
unfortunate.
if that ace doesn't come, you know, she gets away from it. And I don't think she goes broke here.
I don't think she goes broke either, but yeah, making aces full of kings.
Yeah.
It's too
It's
often
tough.
you're trying to be pushed off a chop.
Yeah.
It's a call.
And congrats to the ladies who made the final table. Out of 640 players, we had 2 ladies at this final table, Renata and Kathy. Great showing by both of them. Pleasure to have y'all here. Very nice job there. All right, so Kathy had 1,075 in bounties. So Jeremiah here is going to be awarded $550 in cash, and he's going to have 525 added to his bounty stack. So I'll get those bounties updated for you guys here. And that was quite a big bounty, $550 going straight into Jeremiah's pocket.
Nice little day. 2 buy-ins just about to the tournament, just like that, and still in it. Already profiting. And on to the next hand we go. Little Dan here with still 6 big blinds under the gun. He's got to make something happen. What's he do with the king 7 suited? Waits for a better spot. Not throwing away the ace 5 off and the hijack. Jeremiah not being the most active player in this hand.
Well, I think you win, what, 3 in a row, something like that. I think it's okay to let one go.
Take a break.
Yeah.
You know,
We'll
happens.
give somebody else a chance, right?
And Dylan here raising his button with the queen 6 off, playing his position, trying to take down some blinds. And Mr. Creighton finds a defense in the big blind with jack 9 off. Actually has the favorite with the equity advantage with the worst hand, which is. And now we see
Definitely
why.
flops best.
Definitely flops best. Flops top pair. Dylan has an overcard, a backdoor flush draw, and a gutter. So he's got enough hand to probably find the c-bet here.
We can see at the top right-hand corner of the screen there that 2 of those 8s are dead outs. They have been folded already. So he can hit the 8 of diamonds, the 8 of clubs, or one of the 2 remaining queens to take the lead here. And he is going to bet out. Bet him like you got him. 235,000. And Creighton says, here you go. If you want it, you're going to have to call. Dylan does ask for a count.
It's not much more. It's just a little bit more than what he just bet. So
Our count here shows 500,000.
he might gamble. The only
Which
problem is Mr.
10 big blinds, you know. 10 big blinds is nothing to. Where are Creighton's?
And Mr. Creighton has only $375 in bounties, so that might be a determining factor to if he calls or not. Because he's calling, definitely gambling behind.
Oh.
He does make the call, though. I guess going for the small bounty. It is still a bounty.
Well, and also
And
a ladder, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
also
we
a
are at a
decent
final
ladder.
table. So Creighton does have the best of it. He's going to need to fade 4 outs that Dylan has. You see those at the top right-hand corner of your screen there.
Or running hearts. So
Yes.
a heart would be a really good card for Dylan. Like the 6 of hearts gave him more outs. Would be his ideal card.
Oh, 3 of a kind for Creighton, and not all the more outs. We got a few more outs now. 7 outs for Dylan to the river, and
how
a
about
full boat
house?
for Creighton. That is going to be a full double. So Creighton's going to have 1.4 million in his deck. That's 27 big blinds, and Dylan has only 31 big blinds now. So a small hit for Dylan there, but I think after he put in that initial bet and the raise pre-flop, I think he's got to make that call after Creighton goes all in for just a little bit more. Definitely do not fault him for making that call there with just the queen high.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. He's got a gutter. He's probably thinks his queen's live. Running hearts are live. He's already bet half of what the stack was to call.
And all of those things are true, there. And it's just, sometimes you win and sometimes you don't. And sometimes the best hand holds up.
Sometimes it does.
Man, look at that pretty hand straight into the muck. Roger don't want to mess with those suited connectors. 8-9 of diamonds with the open. He's going to open us off with the fold. Good thing for him, too, because Dylan's got a 7 of diamonds, and he's going to raise it up.
And there, Mr. Billy's trying to show y'all why.
Oh, excuse me. Dylan's going to call.
Yeah, just limping the A7 of diamonds on a bad player.
Creighton does defend.
Defends the small blind with the 6-4 off. And Dan going to check his options, see what the flop brings. And Dylan flopping 7s and deuces with the top kicker. It's a really good flop for his hand, given this action. Should almost always have the best hand here, unless the big blind has a deuce.
I mean, ace high is good here a lot of times as well,
That's true.
Yeah.
And that might be what he's trying to get value from, is some ace highs that just limp the small blind, hoping the short stack shoved out of the big. And does not get any action, so takes it down, which is always a good thing. And now you see the updated chip counts. Little Dan down to 225,000. He needs to make something happen out of the small blind here.
Yeah, 4.5 big blinds only.
Now just 4. He's already got 25 in the pot.
Yeah. Well, while we're getting cards dealt here, let's go ahead and check on the other tournament we've got running out there. Looks like we've just got to a final table. We've got some familiar faces at that final table, some good players. They're playing for, I think, about $4,500 for first place out there.
Really? Got that big?
Yeah, it's a $300 buy-in. We had 45 entries into it. The American stack, as I have dubbed it.
I like it.
75,000 in chips for the starting stack, and we're down to the final 9 there. You want to take a look at those chip counts, go ahead and log in to Poker Atlas. Check out DogHouse. Find that tournament, and you can see all the chip counts from there.
And here we go. King high on the small blind for Dan. And I think with this stack, he's got to try to pick up something. Try to pick up the big blind on the ante.
I mean, yeah, and there's only one person left to act. Now you only have to worry about beating one player.
King high is a lot of the time heads up. So even if he gets called, he's probably ahead. And Roger thinking about it, the thing is Dan does have a pretty big bounty. He's got $1,300 bounty, so if he wins this pot, he gets to put 650 of that into his pocket. So
yeah, that's going to be a determining factor there for sure.
Sure. You can see the cards on their faces.
65% favorite Lil Dan is here.
Good call.
65% equity. He is the favorite going to a flop. Can he fade the flop? And he does fade the flop with King High still holding up to 78% favorite. Let's see what the turn brings. And Roger does turn more outs with the gut shot 9, so Little Dan is going to win this pot 82% of the time, but this is not the one. The 8 from space on the river to send Little Dan home, unfortunately. He had a good run, though. He had a lot of bounties.
Absolutely, and that is going to be a pretty decent little bounty there.
And he gets to take home 3,000, not $3,090. Can't speak today, sir. So now we're going to be updating these bounties for you guys real quick.
Oh, so they had identical bounties. Both players had 1,300. So 650 is going to be added to Roger. So he's going to be worth 1,950. His bounty is now worth $1,950.
Look what the bounty is.
So the person who busts Roger is going to almost immediately collect $1,000 in cash. You know,
$975. It's a good little payday.
take those to the cage, cash them out immediately.
650 goes here. There. 1,300. I got it.
Yeah, it's me trying to figure out how to pay out the bounty with having no change on the table.
Bounty's getting too big
And then there were 6. Down to 6 players at this final table. Lots of action, lots of bounties still to come here, guys.
I'm going to be leaving you guys with Josh for just a moment, guys. I'm going to go get a water and use the restroom before I have to sit back down in the box. So,
Alrighty. All right, hand number 12. 12 hands into this final table. We've already lost 3 players. That just kind of tells you what this progressive knockout format does to a tournament. You know, it can really change some people's decisions, you know, whereas if bounties didn't exist. And it looks like we've got a hand that's going to be developing here. Billy has opened the action to 125,000 with the Queen Jack. Action now over to Creighton with Ace King. Going to be raising it up here. 375. 375 is the new bet. Now Roger with the Ace Queen of Clubs in the small blind. Wow, that is not a fun spot to be in if you're Roger here. Trapped between the big blind, an open, and a 3-bet. With Ace Queen of Clubs, that is not a fun spot to be in. I wouldn't be surprised if he just lets this one go, honestly. But he does put some chips in the middle. Looks like that's going to be a call of 375. Do not fault him for that at all. Action now back to Billy, who was our original opener. He originally raised in the hijack here. And he is going to let it go. Off to the races we go. King 10-4 with 2 diamonds. Creighton going to take a commanding lead here. Roger does have a gut shot to Broadway. There are 3 remaining jacks in the deck that he could hit to give him the lead. Action has been checked over to Creighton, who has flopped top pair with top kicker. Chips are going into the pot. And it looks like all of them. And that's probably just going to be a fold from Roger here.
Give him a break.
All right. That is going to take up the blinds. That is also going to give us a dealer change.
60, 60.
The new blind level is now 30,000, 60,000 with a 60,000 big blind ante.
They telling you go slow, deal long, all that.
Yeah.
Creighton in the cutoff with king six as diamonds. Looked like he might want to do something here, but he does end up letting it go. All right, looks like we're going to have blind versus blind in a limped pot here. And the hand's probably over now. Ahmad does have first action, and he elects to check. Jeremiah is going to put in a bet. Ahmad with the 9 high, going to let it go. And we're going to go on to the next hand.
And I'm back. See, I haven't missed anything too exciting. All 6 of our players are still remaining.
60-60.
And Josh is going to be leaving us for a moment, so it'll be just me here in the commentating booth. You guys will have me for the next 7 minutes until I got to go out there and relieve Adam of his duties. And I believe after this level we're going to race off some... No, I'm sorry. It's after the next level we're going to race off some ships. So Creighton with the second nut low, letting it go. And Mr. Roger with ace-jack suited in the cutoff. That's plenty of a hand to come in for a raise. And he comes in for a big raise. It's like a 5x. I'm sorry, yeah, 5x. And does take it down, so on to the next hand. And I'm seeing a lot of Dylan fans in the chat, so trying to send some run good his way to take this thing down. I see Gary in the chat. Gary's one of our frequent regulars here. Really nice guy. He's pulling for Mr. Ahmad or Mr. Roger, so see if Gary can sweat him up. And here, Creighton under the gun with King Queen suited. See what he elects to do. Looks like he elects to come in for a raise. How much is he gonna make? Is that 190?
90.
I'm folding over Jeremiah, who lets go of the off-suited ace, and Dylan waking up with 2 9s in the small line. See if he elects to play them slowly or faster. He does just come in with the call. Creighton hadn't played a whole lot of hands, hadn't done a whole lot of raising, so probably figures his opening range on the gun's a little tighter than usual.
That's up.
See if 9s can hold in the flop. That's a really good flop for 9s. 7-8 deuce. 2-tone. And Dylan just comes in with an all-in. Old stop and go play, and I don't think Creighton can do anything now. He's handcuffed. He asks for a count. Is he actually thinking about that, or is he just trying to get some TV time here? And chat asking us to give Dylan a hat because he's the only player at the table without a hat, but he is the player at the table with the most colorful shirt, so. And he does take it down with the open jam. So, nice hand by Mr. Dillon.
Open more. Hope for that.
Yeah, and when you look at a shirt like that, you just kind of feel happy, right? Cartoons on it, all colorful. Like, could you not like it? Now, I'm out here with the ace deuce off. Comes in for a min click just about. And Jeremiah with 2 threes in position might defend here. He does come out with the call, so we are probably going to see a flop. See what Billy decides to do with queen 10 off. Getting a little bit of a better price being in the small blind. He may elect to come along. Have to take into consideration we are playing for bounties here, so players should be playing more hands than usual and going for these knockouts to lock up some of that cash money. And Creighton also getting a price, possibly going 4 ways, getting 3-1 on his money. A little better than 3-1 with the ante out there, but so that's better of it. Going to the flop 3 ways, and 2-3 still in the lead here, but the king does favor Ahmad's opening range, so he may take advantage of that and try to take this pot down. Does elect to check it, and Jeremiah, sensing that he has the best hand, probably needing protection for his under pair to the board, goes ahead and makes a protection bet. And Mr. Billy getting out of there with the queen 10. Mud really has no hand here. Ace high, rarely good. Backdoor gutter to the wheel at best. And takes it down with the 3s. So here we go. We see an updated chip count. Billy still a massive chip lead. Jeremiah chipping away at him though, trying to catch up to 4.1 million. So starting to get there. He has been running pretty well here at this final table, picking up pots in good spots, picking up big hands in good spots. And we got a limp here from Dylan in the cutoff with ace-4 suited. And Billy goes ahead and limps his button with ace-3 suited, so we're going to have a battle of the wheel aces. And it is my turn to go pitch and shuffle these cards, so I'm going to have to leave you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and Josh will be back shortly to take back over.
I bet 150.
All right. We're back. We're back. We're in action. We've got cards.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got ace jack of clubs in the small blind.
Is that a premium to you?
No, but it's a playable. To an open?
Absolutely.
We're going to see a call here. The 150 was the open from Dylan here with the king 5 of diamonds. Action back to Imad. Makes the call with the ace jack of clubs. Jeremiah is going to get out of the way. We're going to see a flop of 10, 10, 10. Ace high is good here almost all of the time.
Going to be in check call mode here for a mod, I would assume.
Yeah, I think so.
No
Deuce of
C-bet.
spades. Changes nothing. Does give Dylan some chop outs here if a deuce comes. Check again all the way around. River's going to come out of jack, and that's going to be pretty nutty here for Imad. He's definitely going to be putting a bet in, that's for sure. And Dylan just has to fold here. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. He looked like he was grabbed it, and he was just going to immediately throw it in. And then he thought about it, and then he threw it in. King high, no good. Gets the bad news. And that's 820,000 going to a mod.
I kind of like dealing and then coming back here and seeing the hands.
Yeah. So you're watching yourself deal. How's that feel?
Eh,
How do you think you did? Should we grade your performance?
yeah, go ahead.
Chat, let's grade his performance. He's
Oh.
in here talking with us. He's on the screen dealing right now. Chat, go ahead and grade this grade A dealer's performance here. One of the best in the business. I'll take him over anybody.
Those are some big words.
Big words. Look at all the Dylan fans, dude. Oh, my goodness. All the Dylan fans in the chat. Oh.
Solid B, I'll take it.
Ooh. I don't know if that's high enough. We got to bump those numbers up, bud. You better do better next time. He's not wearing a hat. So wearing a hat would give him a better grade. I think that's what we're getting at here.
I think they're talking about Dylan. He's the only player at the table without a hat.
Oh.
I think.
Yeah, that's accurate information. Dylan's the only player. But I'll tell you what. In terms of shirts, Dylan wins against anybody in any poker room at any given time. I doubt you can see it from the picture here, but that is just a shirt with all the Nickelodeon characters on it.
Is that what it is?
He's got all kinds of stuff. He's got Rugrats on there. He's got SpongeBob. I saw Patrick the Star. He's got all the Nickelodeon characters. Definitely Dylan gets an A for the shirt, 100%.
Can I wear a hat while I deal?
Well, Jesse says that it would make your performance grade A. So I think we're going to have to allow that. You're wearing a headset. That's kind of like a visor, right? It's like half a hat.
I would not consider that a hat now.
I think we can bump it up to a B plus though, at least. Anyways, back to the important stuff here. If you're just tuning in, this is the final table of the Stars and Stripes 100K guaranteed progressive knockout bounty tournament here at DogHouse Poker Club in Cypress, Texas. We are down to 6 players battling it out for the $15,000 first place prize, plus all the bounties. Whoever wins first place gets $15,580 plus all of the remaining bounties that are in play at that time. We've got a hand developing here. 2 10s for Billy. He's just going to call the open from Jeremiah as the flop comes ace high. The buy-in for this event was $300. $300. A continuation bet from Jeremiah and a call from Billy as the king of hearts hits the turn. Check, check now. And another ace on the river. So Billy does have the check mark. If this hand goes to showdown, Billy will win. But Jeremiah has fired out $300,000.
Yeah, he's got a bet there on the river. He's got queen high. I mean, I guess he can win some of the time.
Sometimes you're good.
He's just trying to get him off like a 6 or a 7 here.
Yeah, probably.
What 6s or 7s does he really have?
I mean,
8s,
Billy's got the
9s.
chips in hand. He's got 120 big blinds. He's going to make the call, and he's going to get the good news. The rich continue to get richer here at DogHouse Poker Club. Mr. Billy is going to win a $1.2 million pot.
You can't bluff old school Billy.
Nah.
Oh,
There's a look at the
gee.
payouts there. You see the first 3 eliminations of this final table in their respected payouts. And that first and second place prize of $15,580. And once again, the reason first and second place are the same amount is because the winner of this tournament will win all of the remaining bounties in play. That's a pretty significant pay jump when we get down to it.
About 5,000, huh? Be about a $5,000 heads up.
Yeah, 5,000 or 6,000 probably, somewhere around there. It's not a bad number to compete for by any stretch
Not
of the
at all.
imagination. Oh, look, that's my favorite hand in the whole world.
Ace
8. That is my favorite hand
Why is that?
of diamonds, specifically. Oh, I don't know. I just dubbed it my favorite hand probably like, you know, all the years ago when I started playing poker, and it's just been my favorite hand. I think probably won a big hand with it or something at one point early in my professional poker playing career. By the way, any of you watching who know me know I am obviously not a professional poker player. I am, however, a professional punter. Currently punting for the DogHouse Poker Club here in
There we
Cypress,
go.
Texas. Jeremiah is going to be in the lead here with a pair of 8s. Dylan picking up some outs here. Not going to catch them. This hand is going to go check, check. Jeremiah is going to win this one.
Nothing too out of line so far.
No, definitely not. Some really solid players here at this final table. Definitely some grinders. We have some grinders. We have some recreational players. We had a really good mix of players in this entire field, honestly. And then you got the legend himself, Mr. Billy Sieber, in the 9 seat with all the chips and all the bounties.
Gotta check it. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give this song a grade of A+.
Who sings it?
My mind just went blank here. Let me re-sing the song in my head here. Hold on a second. Matchbox 20?
I believe so.
Matchbox 20. That's who it is. Yeah.
card.
Two players here with a pair of 10s. Roger with the best of it with a 9-high kicker at the moment. And he's going to bet it like he's got it. 150. See how he cut those chips? He's been here before, dude.
And Dylan lets go easily of the 10-7.
Wow. Well, I mean, there was an ace on the flop.
Roger has been pretty tight.
You see there, he is third in chips currently with 2.2 million. Our short stack currently, Dylan, with 1.1 million. Big blind of 60,000 with the 60,000 big blind ante currently. Still plenty of time. It's really still anybody's tournament here.
Raising for 130.
And Dylan's going to take this one down. Raise it and take it, as they say. I think they say that. Somebody said that before, surely.
Raise it and take it.
I'll tell you what. You know what else Dylan gets? Dylan gets an A+ for the best rail of this final table, for sure. I believe it's all a virtual rail, but Dylan's rail gets an A+ here.
For sure. A lot of support here for Dylan.
Quit trying to play something. This is going to take a while. Having fun, dude. We were having fun. There when you call it. Like he doesn't have the ace, but he wants to hold me real bad.
Ace, king, deuce with two spades on this flop here. Roger with the jack-high flush draw. Ahmad with the wheel draw. Roger's going to come out swinging here. 100,000 is the new price of poker.
I like it.
I like it.
It's got
Love it.
position.
Got position. 4-2 flush.
And Mod's probably raising a lot of aces out of the small blind.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely betting it when he hits it on the flop. There's another pot for Roger. Hanging steady there. Third place in chips, as you see the chip counts there. Billy now over 8 million in chips. The blinds go up, and so does Billy's chip stack. I wonder if those two things are correlated. The chipflation is out of control, Jesse says. All right, we didn't come here to talk about politics, guys. Let's stick to poker, okay?
Poker and politics. That could be a show.
Not a show I want to watch. Chipflation. I guess that would be what you would call the blinds going up, right? Chipflation. It's basically, yeah, that story checks out. So that's a great use of those words there. We are going to see a bet here from Dylan with a pair of 9s and a Pretty quick call from Jeremiah. It's blind versus blind here. Open ender for Jeremiah. Top pair for Dylan. And a queen of hearts on the turn. And over to the board. Checks around. The board does pair. Check. Dylan's probably firing here, I think, 100% of the time. As he checks, obviously. And he's going to take down the hand.
I think I'd like to go for a little value
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I think I'm betting there almost all the time.
Hey, it's service on 12, please.
I mean, the hand, it wouldn't have mattered. The only thing that would have changed is Dylan would not have had to show his cards because Jeremiah had 6 high and would not have put any more chips into the pot. Couple of 9s here for Roger and the hijack. I think I'd probably like to see like a 125 open here maybe. Or a call, that's
Maybe
okay.
Flats. Interesting.
Ahmad here with the 5-3 of spades, 24 big blinds. Gonna let it go. And Jeremiah on the button with ace-jack. Ooh, Dylan in the small blind with ace-queen. Looks like we're probably going to go 4 ways to a flop here.
And a limp fest.
A limped pot. Ace-queen, ace-jack, and 2 9s. And the big blind's queen-6 and a limped pot.
Could make a case for 3 of those hands raising pre.
Absolutely. And Roger's still best here with his pair of 9s. And he's going to check again. Action now to Jeremiah with ace high. He's going to put a bet out there on the button in position. And how do you play ace queen out of the small blind here? Jammed in between in a limped pot pre. I guess you just call. Another king on the turn. Does put 3 clubs on the board. Now giving Dylan the nut flush draw. Now Roger takes control of the betting here. He's going to lead out for 300,000. Jeremiah lets it go. Dylan makes the call with the nut flush draw and 2 overs. 9 outs to the river, and the 3 of diamonds is not one of them. Roger is going to check. Dylan checked as well. Going to go to showdown. 2 9s are going to take it. Pretty decent little pot for Roger there. 1 million in that pot. Going straight to his chip stack.
Very interesting hand there.
Yeah, that was, I think none of that was really standard, I don't think there. I think the 9s are definitely supposed to raise there in the hijack.
The way that hand was played out, I don't think any 3 players could know where any other player was at in the hand.
Yeah, and I think ace-jack is definitely supposed to raise there on the button facing a limp. Ace-queen calling out of the small blinds. I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend to try to figure out what went on there because I don't think I can. But these players have been playing for quite a while. We started this tournament, restarted this at 2 p.m.
It's been a grind.
It definitely has.
Maybe past some bedtimes out there.
And I'm going to go ahead and check something out here because if I remember correctly,
There we go, Creighton. I like the pressure.
Okay, this is what I was checking. So Renata bagged the turbo flight last night. I thought we had a player at the table that bagged in a turbo flight this morning, meaning they would have been here since 9 a.m., but that was not the case here. A little update on the other tournament we've got going on here. Over $11,000 in that prize pool. That was a $300 buy-in. That drew 45 entries. We are down to 7. First place going to be taking home almost $4,500 in that one for a $300 buy-in. You can get chip counts on Poker Atlas on the DogHouse page.
Six raises, 140.
Well, thank you very much for the kind words. We are definitely trying our best in here to give you guys some fun commentary to go along with the show here. And yes, Dylan does have quite the shirt. I might ask him where he got it from. I don't know that I could pull that off, though. It's a pretty strong statement shirt, really, you know?
He knew he was going to be at the final table.
Oh, yeah. That is a final table shirt for sure. Roger here with 2 10s. Oh, what a flop for Imad. So the preflop action here, Roger just called. Imad initially had raised to 140,000. The flop comes out, and Roger checks his 2 10s. And now Imad is betting 110,000. There's not really, it's not the scariest flop in the world. I mean, he could, there's a lot worse hands Imad could have here for sure. He definitely does have the best hand here. Roger is going to come along for one street, though. See how Imad decides to proceed here. I think he's going to size a little bit larger here. Probably going to bet around 300,000, 350,000 maybe. Maybe on the smaller side to extract some more value. $315,000.
Close.
That was pretty close. And that is going to be enough for Roger to let it go. Nice pot there for Imad. Chat, I've got great news. My food has arrived. I no longer have to starve.
That looks good. Smells
Yeah,
good.
Smells great.
How's the fried rice here?
Much like everything else, amazing.
Mm.
I've never had a bad thing here. I've never ordered food from here and not thoroughly enjoyed it. It's always just been phenomenal.
Shout out to the chefs.
Shout out.
Get a free meal every 4 hours if you play cash here, correct?
Yeah, every cash session you do get a free meal. Sriracha's included.
You want some fried rice with that sriracha?
75.
Aces for Creighton.
Hello, good morning on the button. Facing our open here from Billy. Sriracha does make everything
Two
better.
raises,
Thanks for having my
450
back here. All right, we're going to see a raise to 450,000 from Creighton. Gary says he's had several $600 free meals. Well, I hate to tell you, Gary, but that's not our fault. Maybe just play better, buddy.
Raffle winner.
Hey, he did win.
Let's
He
go.
he did win a raffle tonight. I called his name out.
He deserves it.
Yeah, shout out to the man, Gary.
Absolutely.
Heads up to a flop here of 6-6-5 with 2 clubs. Aces best still.
Probably check, bet, fold here.
I would imagine. I mean, there's definitely no way Creighton's ever checking here.
That's 575.
Gary.
You know, I think I get stronger every day I see Gary because I always shake his hand. And you know those little things that it's like a, you know, you just squeeze them in your hand and it strengthens your grip. Yeah. So every time I shake Gary's hand, that's what I feel like. I feel like I just have to, you know, squeeze as hard as I can. The guy has massive hands.
He does. You got to show him who's boss.
Yeah, I mean, trying to.
I always thought it was part of it.
Hello. Roger waking up with the ladies on the button.
Another Dylan
Five
supporter.
300.
Another.
Shout out to the Dylan Rail.
Absolutely. Well, good night, Abigail. Thank you for tuning in and watching for as long as you have. I think there are plenty of Dylan fans to continue on the good fight in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Ahmad's going to put some chips in the pot here.
Oh, look at this. Queens versus tens. On the button, Roger opened it up to 300,000, and Ahmad put in the call on the small blind with 2 tens. And we're going to see a flop of king, and jack. It's not a terrible flop for either player here.
Five bets, 300.
We're going to see a 300,000 bet from Roger with the 2 queens. Tell you what, Ahmad, I think, has just played absolutely solid all day long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've seen him get out of line once. He's played solid, playing like he's been here before. Super focused, just seems super zoned in this entire restart today.
He's going to call flop and pray for check here.
Yeah.
Peel one off. I don't mind it. I don't mind a fold or a call. I think I prefer call. You might think he has the best hand after Roger checks back.
Meaningless 4 of diamonds is going to hit the river.
Go for some value here, Roger. You would think Ahmad would put in a bet here on the river if he has a king in his hand. Try to get some value from a jack here.
Looks like Ahmad's trying to get a read off of Roger here, staring him down.
Oh, I remember this. Roger didn't know it was on him. And so they stall for a little bit here.
Oh, Ahmad's already checked.
Correct.
Oh, okay, okay. It definitely looks like Ahmad's just giving him the soul read.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, right.
Check.
We literally about to ask, do we know?
All right, well, we figured out where the action was, and it did go check, check. Roger's queens are going to be the best hand at showdown, and he's going to take down that pot. It looks like we're going to have a new dealer coming in here.
We're calling the clock.
I was thinking, oh man, what are you gonna do?
He kept picking up his
Yeah,
tip.
he did. He kept picking up the orange one.
And it
too.
worked
What's he
perfect
gonna do?
because when you draw a clock, some of the dealers can say it's on you.
I said, all right, sir.
I never.
Six, you have 30 seconds.
Hello. Cowboys here for Billy. Wow, look at this. Billy elects just to call. He just flats with kings here. Under the gun. Praying for somebody to raise it up here.
Old school, baby.
And he gets his wish here. Ahmad is going to get it all in here for 1.1 million on the button with ace deuce offsuit. Jeremiah now with sevens. I think Jeremiah has to fold the sevens here with two players behind, and he does.
So sick. Billy hasn't limped a strong hand at this final table. Last time he limped, the big blind just raised and he gave up. And now he's limping with two kings.
I call, he says. And Ahmad's going to get the bad news. Wow. You think that's what Billy was trying to do there? You think that's what he was hoping for?
I mean, in a dream scenario, yes. He's got an over. He's got a wheel draw. He's not dead. We've seen it time and time again.
Time and time again.
Ace from space. There it is.
Oh, two of them, two pair. Billy now going to need to catch. Oh, wait. Yeah, still just a king, but still his only outs. Three queens. Wow.
Had a chance to knock off a strong player there.
Yeah. That's a big double up for Ahmad here.
I'm
He
sure
went
the
from
table's
14
very
big lines
happy.
up to about 29 now.
Yeah.
I'm going to put him fourth in chips now with 2.4 million. Dylan, now our short stack at the table.
I just needed that one and then.
In the small blind, going to need to make something happen soon. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? YouTube chat, I'm singing that to y'all, okay? Let's get along, guys.
Oh,
Violence
Fight
is
me in
not
Tekken
the
8
answer
right
here.
now.
Don't worry about it. Violence is not the answer, even if it is virtual violence. Dylan is just going to ship it here, rightfully so. Not very much chips in his stack. Going to have to get it in at some point. What better time to do it than with top pair? Luckily for him, Billy had
How far? I know you were
deuce
down
tray
low 'cause I
of
heard
clubs,
cheering
not
on.
deuce tray
How
of
low were
spades.
you?
180.
Yeah, about 115. That's what I'm just saying.
Size doesn't matter. Let's go Dylan short stack, says Jesse. Well,
Ask your mom.
We will definitely see if that is the case here. We will be playing down to a winner tonight or tomorrow morning, you know, whichever it is. It is
Yeah.
11 p.m. here in Cypress, Texas. Have been playing since 2 p.m. today. Some of us have been working since a little before that. But we are here for it. We are going to do our best to keep you entertained and keep you updated on the action here. Maybe throughout the occasional joke. You know any jokes, buddy?
You got any dad jokes for me?
Yeah, I think I got a couple of dad jokes. I think you're going to have to leave soon, so maybe we'll save the dad joke session for the next time you're back in the booth.
Okay.
And that'll be our thing, the dad joke session. Don't let us forget, chat. Don't let us forget the dad jokes. Coming soon to a live stream near you.
Billy with the raise it and take it. 6.3 million. He's got piles.
If you're wondering about chip denominations here, those orange chips you see are the smallest denomination chips still in play. They are valued at 5,000 units each. The brown chips that you see are valued at 25,000. And those pretty pink chips, those are valued at 100,000 each. Dylan is going to bump it up here in the hijack with the ace-9 offsuit.
We should see a Billy call here.
But we don't. Billy's going to let this one go. Action now to Ahmad. And he looks at it and turns it up face up. Can't play with those rags. Let's look at our pre-flop raise frequency. Jeremiah, 22% of hands is raising pre-flop. What are the two most important rules of poker? Well, as a operator, I would say that the first and foremost rule of a poker player should be do not gamble with money you do not have to gamble with. If you do have a gambling problem, please get on the phone right now. Dial 1-800-GAMBLER. That would be my first rule of playing poker. I think my second rule is one that I learned very early on when I started playing poker. Don't raise with the flush on a paired board. That has not ended well for me, ever. I think those are probably my two most important rules. Uh-oh. I got dots in the chat. They don't like my rules. Was the first one a little bit too serious? Oh, I didn't realize you were telling a joke, Jesse. I'm sorry. Can you continue your joke? I apologize. Did I ruin it, or is it still alive? All right, looks like we're going to see a little action here. Head up to a flop. We've got Jeremiah and Dylan. We're going to see a flop of deuce, tray, 5, all clubs. Dylan with the only club in play here. Another deuce on the turn. Looks like the action has checked around already. We're going to see a river card for free here. And it's going to be the jack of diamonds. If this does go to showdown, Jeremiah is going to take it down. And it does go to showdown. Jeremiah is going to add some more chips to his stack. Okay, number 1, always keep your opponents guessing. All right. That seems like a good first rule.
Like everybody was playing on day 1.
What's the second rule? Are we going to follow up with the second rule?
Our final table took 3 hours, be 9 to 6.
We played 22 hands game for game. 22. Yeah, the each stack on our table and it's just
The joke is there is no 2. Oh, because I'm guessing what the second one is, and there's not a second one, and you're keeping me guessing, and that's the joke. Yeah. That's... Well, even though I didn't immediately get it, I get it now, and it is funny, and I am here for it. Keep the jokes coming, guys. I am a dad. I am a father. I enjoy a joke that is a dad joke. I like those things. What did the pirate say to the man who lied to him?
Finger blind every single time.
Are you kidding me?
He made it
I'm not
300.
worried about the Jack 6. Yes, Jack
Hard.
6, that was my fault. But I haven't been min raised lately.
Well, I've had a
10 yes.
Always keep your opponents guessing.
He's standing my ass, so don't look that good.
It's a button.
Dylan here with ace, queen of hearts on the button. Starting the hand with 12 big blinds. Going to be putting in a raise, it appears. Not a raise. Looks like just a call. Call of 80,000. Blinds are up. We're playing 40-80. And we're going to get a check from our big blind with the 10-6 offsuit. And we're going to go 3 ways to a flop here. Off to the races we go. The flop comes at jack high, 2 clubs. Billy is going to flop the best hand here with middle pair. Looks like Billy probably going to be betting here now. Definitely did throw out a bet there. 225,000 is the bet. Creighton is going to let it go. Action now back to Dylan with ace high. Ace queen high. He's going to make the call. Ace high is good here a lot of the times. And a 4 of hearts on the river is going to put a 4-liner to a straight out there. It does go check, check, and Billy is going to be awarded this pot. 770,000 in there.
That's yours.
Sorry.
Really just having to put up.
I do not believe that's the way Dylan wanted this one to go. But
He's in bad shape.
that is how it happens. Okay, now that that hand is over, back to the chat. What did I miss here?
About it.
Well, you have me in bad
Why
shape.
did the player fold all his even-numbered cards? He was told to play the odds. It's like, what do they call those? A double entendre? Is that the correct use of that phrase? A double entendre? because odds as in like the odd numbered cards, but odds also as in like equity. Okay, and Dylan is going to pick this spot right here to put all of his chips in the middle. King, 9 of hearts in the cutoff. Creighton with the ace 9 of clubs here. In the small blind. One player behind to act. And Creighton is going to let it go. Rogers got the 8-9 offsuit, can't call. And Dylan's going to get one through. Creighton looked like he wanted to call there with that ace-9 of clubs. He did let it go, though. Some much-needed chips for Dylan there, going back into his stack. Shiny Feathers says, yeah, it is. Is that an answer to my question about if I was properly using the term double entendre? I would love to be right here. We're going to be head up here. Blind versus blind situation. Roger's going to lead out here with the queen high. Mod with jack, 6 of spades. Debating. Gonna let it go, and we're going to see another hand here. If you are just tuning in, we are here live at DogHouse Poker Club in Cypress, Texas. Live coverage of the final table of the Stars and Stripes 100,000 guaranteed progressive knockout bounty.
Oh, that's why.
Creighton here in the cutoffs got the hooks. Looks like he's counting out chips for a raise here. Let's see how much it is. We're going to raise it up to 190. Mod's going to make the call with the king jack of clubs. Jeremiah's going to get out of the way. We're going to go heads up to a flop here. King jack of clubs versus 2 jacks. I see a flop of ace 8 deuce with 2 hearts. Not particularly a great flop for either player's holdings. Does it go a check, check? 6 of spades going to hit the turn. And now Creighton is going to lead out here, 150,000. I don't believe Ahmad can continue here.
Are y'all interested in looking at an ICM?
Well, that was asked and answered. Billy, our chip leader, has asked the table if they were interested in looking at an ICM and was immediately met with a fast and firm no.
Billy got all the chips. Billy had all the chips from day one. Oh, no.
It's running good.
Billy had some chips, but not near what they had. And then I got down to almost nothing. And stuff like that.
Guys, it's Dexter back in the commentary booth. Picking you guys up on some action we got going on here. Mr. Ahmad opening to 250,000 from the button, and Roger's going to defend with the suited connector. And that's a pretty action-killing flop. I think on the paired board here with the low card, I think Ahmad just bets his ace high here, and it's good so often, just takes it down. So Ahmad does elect a c-bet here, 250,000, and takes it down. And here are our updated chip count. 6 players left. Dylan at the bottom with 735,000. Mr. Billy still leading that pole position with 6.6 million. And Mr. Creighton here picking up 2 9s under the gun. See what kind of sizing he elects for. I missed you guys in the chat too. Appreciate the shout out. Y'all say y'all got a good feeling about that Dylan guy. He seems like a good guy. Seems to have a positive attitude. Playing pretty decent. And Mr. Creighton does make it a little bit on the bigger side. 210,000 from the 80K big blind. And folds it around to Mr. Billy in the big blind with 40% of a royal flush. I don't believe he'll be folding that to a little bit over a min click. So Mr. Billy does come along, given he has a massive chip lead. He could probably call a lot lighter than King Jack suited, but it's a good hand to defend with. And no help for Mr. Billy on the flop. Creighton still has the best hand. When checked to here, he probably thinks he has the best hand a lot of times, so I imagine we'll see a bet here. And he is reaching for chips. What's up, Gary? How you doing today, brother? We hate you missed this final table, man. We got to see you on it next time. And Mr. Creighton does take that hand down. And here you can see the pre-flop raise percentages. This is the percentage of hands that the players have raised pre-flop. And you can see that nobody's just going completely crazy. The highest percentages were 20%. So that's pretty solid. All 6 of these players are playing very solid poker here. So. Couple middling triple and 4 gappers and under the gun and the gun +1. And Dylan here waking up with ace king off, sitting on 8 bigs. See what he likes to do. Looks like he's gonna make it 200,000. It's a really good chance for him to make something happen with his short stack. And Mr. Creighton here with Jack 7 of diamonds in the big blind, thinking he's getting a price to defend. Dylan is short. If he can catch a favorable flop, maybe he can bust Dylan and get that bounty, which is 15.25. So Dylan's sitting on a hefty bounty, so I do not blame Mr. Creighton at all for gambling with this hand. And he does decide to make the call, so I'm sure he's hoping to catch a piece of the flop and try to get Dylan's bounty. Let's see what we got on the flop. Ace right in the window. And no help for Mr. Creighton. Ace King still way in the lead with top. He does pick up a backdoor flush draw, but looking pretty slim for him with 8% equity. And Dylan does decide to go ahead and lead with top for 200,000. And Leighton does decide to let it go, so on to the next hand. Where's everybody listening from tonight? Everybody in the chat, where are you guys at? We got a bunch of Houston crowd in. And there's our updated chip counts again. Dylan's still at the bottom, even though picking up a decent little pot there. Chipping back away towards a middling position. I see people here from Austin. Nice to see you guys from Austin. If you're ever in Houston, please stop by here in Cypress, Texas, just north of Houston, at the DogHouse. The best poker club in Houston, if not Texas. I see a Houstonian in the chat, Bianca. We love to see you come up here and splash around a little bit in some tournaments or some cash here at the DogHouse. Games run almost all night. We open at 11 every day, and we try not to close. We try to stay open 24 hours. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but sometimes it does. Oh, you're watching your dad play? Who's your dad? And Ahmad taking it down with the min raise with pocket threes. So again, here are our chip counts. Billy with 34% of the chips in play. Dylan with only 6%. Well, throw some run good for your dad. He's doing pretty well so far, getting a few ladders, chipping away. And Jeremiah here with 2 9s under the gun. Comes in for a little bit more than a min click, going up to 180. See if anybody's got anything to give me some action with. And Ahmad with king 10 here in the big blind might defend. There were already 2 kings folded, so that is bad news for Ahmad. And Ahmad does flop the case king, so does take the lead on the ace king 4 flop. Flop checks around, and now that Ahmad has checked a second time, I can see JJ going for a bet here for protection, thinking his 9s might be the best hand. Does go with a small bet of 155,000 and a snap call from Ahmad. He just does not believe that king 10 is no good. And the 10 on the river gives Ahmad a pretty hidden 2 pair, but puts 4 to Broadway on the board, and I think this just goes check, check, and it does. And I will show the winner. 2 9s are no good. And here you can see our payouts. Next person who goes out gets 3,700. And we got another Creighton fan in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. Trying to send him some run good here. And I'd just like to give a shout out to all the players who came up here in DogHouse and supported this tournament and made this thing a huge success. We smashed the guarantee, and we just want to thank all of our players and all of our staff and everybody who just helped make this 100K Stars and Stripes tournament a huge success here in Cypress, Texas at the DogHouse.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, guys. We do appreciate everyone's support. 640 entries into this event. Thanks to everybody who came out and played. Huge, huge shout out to our staff. It really does take a whole village to run these events and to have these events be successful like this one was. We did have some difficulties in this tournament, and, you know, everybody just persevered and pushed through. And here we are, 640 entries later. And we're down to the final 6. Looks like we've got a bit of a hand developing here. We've got a limped pot, 4 ways to a flop here, and we are off to the races. Ace, deuce, 7 with 2 diamonds. Flush draw for Billy here, and he does have the most equity with 52% favorite to win this hand. Ahmad with a gutter to the wheel. And Dylan with all the heart in the world, putting a bet out there with queen high.
I mean, technically he is betting the best hand. Doesn't have the most equity, not the favorite to win this pot, but it is the best hand at the moment. Though I'm sure he doesn't think that. And Mr. Billy coming along with his 10 high flush draw.
Jeremiah here. In the tank, it appears. The action is on Jeremiah here, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
He looks like he's thinking about check raise. I don't know what he's
Yeah, it
thinking
looks
about
like-
here.
Definitely.
I don't know. He was eyeing up their stacks. I don't know what he was thinking.
Yeah.
I guess he just didn't believe either one of them, which I don't blame him here. If Dylan is here with the queen 9 off, then
Yeah, maybe we'll get a
His
chance
verb.
to ask him what was going through his head there later. A jack on the turn gives Billy even more outs now as he does have a gutter ball. Any eights would give him a straight. Any diamond gives him a flush. And he's still live with his pairs as well.
that's correct. But now the equities has swept. Now that we're on the
Check,
flop, and Dylan is the
check.
favorite. Checks around. and
Another
pairs the
ace on the river. Dylan doesn't earn the check mark. If this hand goes to showdown, he is going to be the winner. Let's see if he continues this line that he took on the pre-flop. He does not. He slows down and checks, giving Billy an opportunity to put a bet out here.
And Billy is going to take the opportunity. He knows a bet is the only way he can win this hand. So
Dylan is wishing he would have bet first here for sure.
And Billy's line looks really credible. He can call here with a lot of pairs, with a lot of 7x, or even low aces that check back the turn. And now the ace is paired. He can think that, you know, his 7-8, 7-9s can be good. Any ace he has, he's definitely betting for value. So I like his play here.
Well, he can also have a hand exactly like he has here, and Dylan knows it. Dylan is thinking about making a call here. That's what's going through his mind. He's not just looking for TV time. He's honestly thinking about calling here.
He's giving
Wouldn't
it
this
some
be a
thought.
sick hero call?
That would be a sick call.
Billy bet 400,000. Oh,
He almost sniffed it out.
almost
he thought
sniffed
about
it out. Big bluff there by Billy on the river. That's going to leave Dylan with just 690,000 in chips.
When the pot came, no. When the pot came out, I was like, I'm out. And then I'm literally thinking about other stuff and like.
Oh, well, now we get to hear what he was thinking about. Other stuff.
So, and then and then Billy, I looked up and Billy looked down. They're waiting on me. I'm over there.
Jesse, thank you so much for tuning in.
I was hoping you'd do something crazy in that.
Definitely a pleasure to have you in here in the chat.
I'm done.
Appreciate the dad jokes. Appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate the support for your boy Dylan here. Whatever happens, I promise you, Dylan
See you on the
wins
street and go
the
on.
contest for best shirt.
Definitely wins best shirt. And Roger Creighton here with 2 5s. Electing to open it for a little bit over a
He's
min
not
click. And Roger waking up with ace king suited in the cutoff.
Yeah,
See
we're
how
going
he
to see some
decides to play
fireworks
it.
here, I think. I think this is a raise in the cutoff from ace king suited.
I'm pretty sure it's a 3-bet with the blinds and the chip stacks, and especially with the bounties in play.
We are just going to call here, though.
Does finally allow. That's going to allow Dylan to come in the big blind more than likely with a lot of hands.
With the king
Price
deuce,
I
he
would
does
die.
make the
I
call
would-
for
I
just a
didn't know
little
where
bit
I was
more.
at, Billy.
Defending his
Price.
line.
Wow.
Thinking about that.
In bad shape though. His deuce is no live, and his king is definitely not live. So Dylan's going to need a miracle to win this pot.
Ace 9-3. Roger flops best here. Top pair of
Yeah.
aces. Top kicker with a king.
Very sneaky top too. Nobody's going to put him on ace king here very often, but they do check to him, and he does come in with a lead.
400. 100? So you pick it.
King deuce hits the muck almost instantly, and
Take all the
let's see what Creighton thinks. His fives really shrivel up on ace 9-3,
Taking the pot out.
and thinks best of it. And Roger taking down a pretty significant pot there,
Always got the pot down.
1.1
That's
million.
correct.
And here are updated chip counts. Billy's still way in the lead. Roger right behind him, and Ahmad and Jeremiah roughly the same. So, and it looks like we'll be having a break here, guys. We're gonna race off the orange chips, and now the lowest
One pink
denomination will
chip,
be the
Billy,
brown chip,
please.
which is 25,000. So we're gonna take a little break, and we'll be right back with you guys in about 6 minutes. Thank you so much, everybody who's tuned in.
Don't go anywhere. We will be back.
All right, guys, and we are back. We were just waiting on the clock to finish counting down, and it looks like it just came back on. So here comes our first hand from break. See what we're working with here.
Oh, oh, two.
Back in action just in time. Dylan is all in for his tournament life here. 425,000. We do have two callers. We're going to see 10-9-5 on the flop. No good for Dylan as Creighton has ace-10. He's going to need to hit a king or a 9 to improve here.
And Mr. Bailey with a gutter and a backdoor flush draw, considering the float here. It is a very big pot. There is a bounty at play in this pot, so I would not hate to see him peel one card to see if he can spike a jack out of there or a queen. His queen's probably good too. I'm sure he thinks that as well. And he does decide to float with the gutter and the overcard. Let's see if the turn brings any help for Dylan or Mr. Billy.
There's that help we were talking about for Billy.
And now Dylan does pick up an extra out. Now he can hit a king, a 9, or a jack. So it's not a bad card for Dylan at all. Both of his whole cards for pairs are live or trips, and he can hit his gutter. So
Billy taking his time here. Decides on a check, as does Creighton. The river is a 3 of spades. And
They
that
all
is going to
three
do
hands.
it for Dylan.
We have an all-in and a showdown.
Bounce, a jack, a 9. Yeah.
All cards must be tabled here.
Solid.
and Mr. Billy getting a big bounty. Dylan had a $1,525 bounty, so Mr. Billy would be putting half of that, $775, could be rounded up in his pocket, and $750 of it will go to his bounty, which will now be absolutely massive.
If he's 10 there, you're not going to bet it? I'm going to bet it.
And the,
You did the right thing. You did the right thing. You did the right thing.
It's not going to go in here.
You got 2 or 3 people in there, one guy on. Check it out. God, they knocked him out.
755.
The bounty made me.
So
I got inside
Mr.
straight.
Billy's new bounty will be $3,425. So if any player busts him at this point,
Billy,
which is
he's
not
stubborn.
going to be an easy
Billy's
task,
stubborn.
but if they do, they will get half of $3,425.
I understand you're stubborn.
I'm sure he has a target on his back due to that.
Big blind here, sir.
And now you can see the updated bounty stacks at the top of your screen for your viewing pleasure, poker enthusiasts.
And we are down to 5 at this final table, guys.
The stars and stripes are coming to a close.
Dylan is not going to go home empty-handed, however. I did talk to him as he was leaving. He is going to take home $3,720 from the prize pool. He also told me he had somewhere around $1,500 in bounty earnings. So he's going to go home with right around $5,000 for his efforts in this tournament here. And let me tell you, that is not a bad $300 investment.
That is not a bad
Any
run
which
at
way
all.
you want to look at it. Great showing here by Dylan.
Trouble with the small blind there, Billy.
Oh, the TV's
Unfortunately,
gone.
New School
would.
is going to lose to Old School
Told him
here.
already.
Oh, and now you can see our updated chip counts. Creighton now our short stack with 1.1 million, 6% of the chips in play. And Mr. Billy, as he has the entire rest of this final table, is just a massive chip advantage to the rest of the table. And you can see him getting paid for his bounty right now. And those are cash chips, so Mr. Billy gets to put those in his pocket. And when this tournament is over, he can go to the cage and cash those out for real live U.S. currency.
Yeah, so
Isn't
as
that
of
a beautiful
right
thing?
now, Billy has accumulated
Big.
approximately $3,400 in bounties. So he's already a winner. 3,400. Mine was 300, so he's already a winner of about 3,000 without any money from the prize pool yet.
And he already has, what, 4,300 locked up?
Yeah, he's got 4,500 locked up.
4,500 locked up. That is. So he's having a good day. He's enjoying himself. He's just kicking back and relaxing now.
6 races and 225.
I'm sure he would like to take that first position, but anything that happens right now, I'm sure he would also be happy with.
Absolutely. Well, he has been asking for an ICM chop. Like I said, these players have been playing a long time today. We started at 2 p.m.
Yeah, and if he can talk them into a chop, he gets to put that 3,400 in bounties he has in his pocket, additional to the other 3,400 that he's already won, and the prize pool money. So it's not a bad idea with his monster bounty to try to talk people into a chop. But I feel like these players at this table are going to want to go for these bounties and try to maximize their profit here. So
Yeah.
we'll see what develops. But as of now, they're going to continue playing and battling it out. And here we got the nut flush draw on a paired board against King
They're on the
High.
stream, whoever you are. They're on the stream.
He does not make the nut flush. Ace high still way good though.
Take a shot. Showdown.
And Roger is going to take this pot down at Showdown.
Ace high good. And here are our chip counts once again. The blinds are 50,000 and 100,000 with a 100,000 big blind ante. And there's a total of 19 million chips in play in this tournament. So that means there's only 190 big blinds in play total at this final table.
Well, there is a little bit less than 19 million total chips in play. We did have a couple of double bags. We had 5 players double bag, and that is not accounted for on the chip count on the clock there. So there's a little less than 19 million in play.
So we're probably looking closer to 180 bigs in play. And Roger defending his small blind with the 10-4 off. There's a mods option.
You not you out there, man.
All right, guys, this will be the last hand I'll get to commentate on, and then I have got to go get back in the box and see if we can close this thing out.
I'm talking about that. That would be the comeback story.
Billy, get off
Get off
the
the
phone.
phone, right?
Well, that's probably his wife wondering where he's at. It's a little late.
Tell her, Billy, she can watch you on TV. You're famous.
Because he's still here. Good job, man.
Ace 9 off in the small blind. See if Ahmad decides to play a limp strategy or an open strategy from the small.
I mean, blind versus blind here. I think you have to put some chips in here and raise it up.
And that he decides to do.
Heads up to a flop here. You see King 9-9, 3 nines best kicker for Imad. It is going to go check, check. That ace of spades on the turn is going to give Imad the absolute check mark here. But it's not a great card to get any value. I don't think it matters what Imad bets here. He's not going to have any value out of this hand. His best bet here might be to check and try to let Jeremiah take a stab at it. Well, he's not going to do that. We're going to be off to the next hand.
Are any of you guys hot? There's a player that's hot.
Well, you have a band, like, none of those are oscillating. Maybe, can we oscillate this one?
Yeah.
Good. If it oscillates, I think we'll be all right.
Oh, is it too cold?
No, I'm hot. Because none of the fans are hitting.
Oh, because it's not
If it oscillates, it'll hit me.
a little bit early.
Yeah, I just
And that way it won't be just blowing straight on me.
we want to help Billy out.
Big bone in there.
You need to cool him off, though.
Trying to.
It's been kind of hot.
Remember a time I actually beat him in the hand and he actually felt fine.
But don't even,
Don't get any ideas?
if you keep kicking the dog and it keeps biting.
Learn the lesson, yeah. I think the dog will learn the trick.
Ace King here for Roger in the cutoff position. Oh, 2 queens for Billy. Just a call. Just a call here from Billy in the big blind. And he's just going to flop the joint here. Top set for Billy. Setting the trap, checking again. I think Billy's going to have to put some chips into the pot here, try to extract some value out of this hand. $275,000 is now the bet. Roger looking like he's probably going to make a call here. Float the river, see if he can catch up. We all know here that he cannot catch up. Billy has been awarded the check mark. If this hand were to go to showdown, he will be awarded the pot.
You sure you don't want to try to take the card off? Sure. I think you ought to try to,
Set.
I think you ought to try to take the card off.
That's right.
Roger folds his hand ace up. Billy asks him, are you sure? You don't want to try to catch up on the river?
Yep.
And Roger immediately called out. He knew he had top set.
I had you. That's what I had. Think he didn't cry. Not my first time playing.
Seven.
225,000 raise here from Ahmad with the ace-10 offsuit. Actually now to Creighton with 2 Broadway cards and the big blinds. And Creighton is going to get it all in here. He only has 8 big blinds behind. This is as good a hand as any. Try to get a double up here.
Total.
Ahmad immediately
Not a dog if I
asks.
got ace king.
'Cause you got
For a
eight
chip
swings.
count.
Okay.
I was told 925,000 by the dealer.
Chop it.
Yeah, I want me to play the bully.
Wow, Imad is going to fold the best hand.
Chip stack is not correct.
And there's a look at our payouts here. Each player has locked up $4,510.
I never even looking at that.
How much chip's extra?
You don't have to be pulling 8 million. You don't have to be pulling 8 million. You don't have to be pulling 8 million.
He's got like,
but
he's got like 8 million.
It's just the chips remaining divided
Like
by
it tells
5.
you, total chips 19 million. We got 5 players.
100 more here.
I was just rubbing my face so I don't have 3.8 million. That's what you're trying to do. He's trying to get me on tilt because I don't have 3.8 million. All right, I got it.
I don't have it either.
Down to blind versus blind now. Creighton with 9-4 offsuit. Roger with queen deuce.
Sir, you gave me a walk in the park.
I did.
Thank you.
Creighton says, "Sir, you gave me a walk in the park earlier. I'm going to return the favor." What a guy that Creighton is.
See, you want to bend it. I didn't know you were so stubborn. I am. I'm a stubborn old man.
Blind versus blind here. Roger's going to bet and take it on this flop of queen 7-4. Hey-oh, there's that favor hand we were talking about again. Ace-8 suited for Creighton. 12 big blinds in the cutoff. Folds to him. I think we've got one play here, and I think it starts with an A.
2 raises, 275.
Just kidding. We're going to raise it up to
5
$275,000. I mean, with 12 big blinds there, I mean, I think I'm getting it in with ace-8 of hearts in the cutoff. Regardless, it doesn't really matter because everybody folds, and we're going to go to the next hand anyways. And there's a look at our VPIP. Ahmad at the top. 35%, really pretty even keel across the board here, between 25 and 35% of the VPIP of all the players at the table here. We have had a very strong final table here. Nobody's really getting out of line. Everybody's playing very well, making smart moves. And a lot of them are running good. Ahmad here on the button with 2 Broadway cards. I think I'm raising here.
Right, 250.
250 he decides on. Billy here, last to act in the big blind with the 4 tray of diamonds.
A little suited connector action here for Billy.
Absolutely. Suited wheel cards, defending. 7-5-9. Flops a gutter. Backdoor flush draw. Ahmad still best.
I'd like to see a C-bet here.
Absolutely. In position. Going up against the big blind. You see bet here every time.
Gut shot, backdoor diamonds,
Pair draw.
pair draw.
Not good enough though.
Billy on tilt. Billy, remember that one time you had three raised aces?
Billy with almost half the chips in play.
Blinds are getting up there, guys. Blinds are 50,000, 100,000 with a 100,000 big blind ante, costing players 250,000 per orbit.
All I had to do was raise.
Still on tilt.
Ruined all,
He was on
ruined all
tilt.
the act.
Couple Doyles out there.
Yeah. Looks like everybody is going to return those cards to the sender. And Creighton is going to get a walk. No complaints from him.
Gotta
Just
love,
1.6
yeah.
million in chips. He's going to take every chip he can get, no matter how he gets it.
We love uncontested pots as the short stack.
Absolutely. Are you speaking from experience here? You
Oh
have a
yeah, short
little
stack
experience?
master.
Yeah, short stack, king of short stacks. All right.
See an open here from Jeremiah.
What do you call it? Doghouse, poker.
What's it called? Doghouse. 7.
What?
He searched with them.
It's a spicy little flop here. Billy with a pair and a flush draw. Creighton and Jeremiah both with a 10. Billy's going to take the lead. You got to think an ace is going to raise here pre. I'd like to see a peel out of either Jeremiah. Queen 10 laid it down. Interesting. The gut shot calls and Roger gets there. 2 pair and a flush draw for Billy. This one's going to cost Billy a little bit. About half pot. Probably a raise incoming here from Roger. 1.2. I don't think Billy's going to get away from this one. Alarm bells have to be going off. Roger hasn't put in too many raises here at this final table. Billy's got to start thinking, did he peel with Jack 8, 6-8, possibly like 10-9. Billy's going to need some help. Nine, 7 or heart.
Five checks, nine
Hey.
checks.
Roger checks. Not a lot of queen 8s and king queens in Billy's range there. Roger's going to take down a nice pot. 3.5 million.
Good as maybe straight.
Chink in the armor
Or
there for
back up
Billy.
with it.
That big pair and a flush draw.
It's the first pot we've really seen Billy lose. Any significant pot.
I know my second pair maybe
Wasn't quite the nut, but
close enough.
Raise it up,
Two
Creighton.
raises,
Love
275.
it.
Did it?
Looks like we're going to get a defense here by Ahmad. And Roger gets in there with the 10-4 off, mixing it up. There we go. We're going to have three-way action to the flop here.
Three players. Five checks.
Check, Ahmad. Good check.
Five, that's 200.
Roger thinking his 4 might be good here after it checks through. And a quick raise from Ahmad.
600.
That should do it for this hand. I don't mind the bet here by Roger. You know Creighton's going to be betting any king there, check to him on the flop. And kind of just hoping Ahmad didn't run into it on the flop. Unfortunate in this case he did. Nice little pot for Ahmad. 1.7.
Chip on the rail there behind your water bottle.
Floor, he's hiding floor.
50.
Look at this. When they look at this video, think I'm a nut. I opened up my hand last time. I thought I had H10.
9 fold.
I had 10-4. I pointed top, but the 4, not an ace.
See if he finds an all in here. If he doesn't shove the ace 8, he's probably just going to open here. And he folds the ace.
Raising 75. Second call.
Ahmad raises. It's a sizing that's kind of inviting. I wouldn't mind a little bigger there and out of the small blind. Especially after a flat on the button. And it looks like it's going to pay off. Flops top pair again for Ahmad. Another pot for Ahmad. A little momentum here for Ahmad. These chip stacks are starting to even out a little bit. Suited ace for Creighton. Let's see how he decides to play this one. And into the muck.
Six raise. 75. Six raises, 225. Seven fold. Nine fold. Five checks. Check. Five bets, 400.
Wish y'all had two pairs.
I wish I'd have had King 10.
I did have King 10. I almost called him. I almost called that.
Check it to you one time.
I'm glad my fair didn't flop all there. I'll make up instead out of nowhere.
Seven call.
That's why I'm folding.
Nine fold. Two's all in. Five fold. Six fold. Seven fold.
The hand of play get to that time.
Actually, you take your phone off the phone, please.
Do what?
You can take the phone off the table. You're fine off there.
Interfering with the signal.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Makes sense.
Nine raises to 300. Fold. Mines are up 75K, 125. 2 8 420. Did y'all see that?
All right, guys, we're back in the commentary booth. Gary, yeah, Roger is looking pretty good. Him and the 9 seat
Billy.
have almost all the chips in play, so.
Let's
Man,
see if
I
they
don't-
put any pressure on here.
I would like to see them put some pressure on, but they've been playing really solid, really straightforward, you know. They've been in one gear all night, and it looks like they're going to stay in it for the most part.
Cruise control.
5 under.
7 raise 275.
Here we go. We got a raise from the small blind, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry, raise from the button. King, queen off. A little bit over a min click. The blinds just went up to 75,000, 125,000 with a 125,000 big blind ante. And the ace rag just going in the muck. See, you know, with those chip stacks, like you said, you'd like to see them apply some pressure here, but cruise control, baby.
Mm-hmm. Especially with Creighton's chip stack so low, you can just raise that ace rag there, and then it puts so much pressure on Jeremiah's king queen.
Yeah,
You know they're looking for ladders.
and Creighton here flopping the best hand. See if he can somehow find a way to get paid. I don't think donk leading is the way, but it looks like that's what he chooses to do. And he does not get paid on his top pair. Better than checking it and letting the king fall off, though, I reckon. And here you get to see our pre-flop race percentages. Ahmad is now the most aggressive player at the table, right behind Creighton. And JJ has fallen way down there.
You like a check jam there?
Yeah, I think so.
A little check jam.
Check jam. I think you get to see bet a lot, especially by ace highs. Those low pair boards, ace highs just bet so often and take it down.
Mm-hmm.
Until they get check jammed on.
With the goods.
With the goods. And here we go. Here we got a little action brewing, looks like. Ahmad picking up a baby pocket pair, and Jeremiah with ace queen suited.
Should go open jam here,
That
according
would
to my
be-
calculations.
Damn, you got a pretty good calculator over there.
We could see liftoff.
Let's see what they decide to do. And it looks like we're just grabbing the black chips. He thought about it. There they are.
Yep.
And that's all in.
That's not a tell. Grab the black chips.
First,
immediately.
right? That definitely doesn't scream, I have a monster.
Sixes is definitely going to be at the bottom of the calling range. I think it kind of.
What do you think that is?
I lean more towards a fold,
Yeah, with the ICM implications, the
but
chip
if
stacks.
he has a huge bounty here, you know.
Yeah, I think that's the determining factor. The fact that if Jeremiah has the bounty, which it is, a $1,100 bounty, so
I think sixes is a fold here, though.
even with
More
the bounty,
more often than a call with the bounties. You could see him get in there.
I can see him gambling for the bounty.
Big bounty.
Yeah, big bounty, you know. And he's got him covered. He's still got. It's not even half of his chip. So.
Roger's got a just under a $2,000 bounty here. I think I'm sticking it in and gambling.
Mm.
It sucks though.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling.
It's not a fun spot.
Yeah, 'cause you know, if you're beat, you're just crushed. You're drawing to 2 outs. So, and if you're not beat, you're at best flipping. So it's just like you said, not a good spot. There are definitely better ones. Let's see what Ahmad decides to do. Just mulling it over.
Can't pick and choose your spots though.
Be nice, right? Putting in some real consideration here. He even reaches. Wait, has he done it yet?
Yeah, he counted out the bounty chip.
Yeah, he even reached over and counted out the bounty chips, which he is not allowed to do. I didn't want to yell at him because we're on TV, but. And does decide to let the sixes go, so I don't blame him either way. And here are updated chip counts. Billy and Roger almost neck and neck. Ahmad trailing just behind them. And Creighton and Jeremiah have enough chips to hurt somebody if they can get a little bite on them. It really is anybody's game at this point. And we got a limp under the gun from JJ with the Jack 7 of diamonds. What do you think about his limp there, AP?
It's not something that's in my playbook. It looks pretty. It's a pretty hand.
The hand does not look pretty.
I think I'd rather fold.
And I guess you could flop a straight flush, right? There's always a possibility.
Raise is my second option.
But limp is not in there.
Limp's at the bottom, but you never know.
I mean, you know, it could be like Doug Polk and have all three options available to us.
Check stop.
And going three ways to a flop with Jack 7 of diamonds not being the best hand.
Let's see if he can catch up.
Looks like a pretty good flop for him. I think it's 9-10 queen. I can't really tell because the graphics aren't up, but that's what I think I see. 9-10 queen. Yeah, it's a good flop for Jack 7.
6 check flop. 7 check flop.
And he doesn't bet.
I would like a bet here.
We gotta know Roger and Ahmad. Neither has an ace at this point.
For sure.
Got an open ender. Ace is scared, and he's.
Man, you got to bet and get the king highs out. And
Or
we get there.
We can just wait for the straight.
We can just wait and get there. Then bet.
Yeah. Wager 250,000.
We got bots in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, don't be clicking on any bot links in the chat, please. If you like your privacy and your safety and your information to not be on the World Wide Web, then please do not click on the links found in the chat by these random bots. And as expected, Jeremiah does bet his straight. The Jack 7 of diamonds limp, check, bet does actually work out for him. And he takes down the pot. On to another one.
I'm gonna shoot it out there one time. There's 5 of us. There's a big difference in the money, but it's only 15.5 to win the game, okay? If we shop it even, everybody gets over 11.
Top of the game, on top of it. That's up to you guys. That's up to you guys.
Let's do it. Everybody keep their own bounty.
going on right now.
Yeah, it does sound like they are trying to bring up a chop, which I don't blame him. Billy does have 8-4 off, so we're going to let him play.
You think he's bringing the chop up if he has 2 aces?
Probably not. I'd probably let that hand play out, you know. But we're going to let them play this hand out, and then they're going to discuss a chop and see what they like. Seems like we have one objector, but we're gonna see after this hand's over for sure.
Hold. Down this road, anything can happen.
Oh.
Option to Jeremiah. He's not going to raise the 6 deuce suited.
I do like the shake back with the 6 deuce suited here. And I'm all flopping the best hand. And Jeremiah turning an open ender, so there is a chance that he might get there.
Bet. Nuts only.
They were talking about a chop, so I don't blame him for going the more conservative route. I was expecting Ahmad to bet his pair at some point.
If you finish third, you're going to get 8,000. What, 11?
And here,
Don't make sense.
That was if I figured it out right.
They're taking down the
There's
chop.
49,000
they are
right
talking
there.
about an even chop, and an even chop would have paid each player $9,974 apiece, as well as allow them to keep whatever bounty chips they have in front of them. As of now, if they don't chop, all the bounty chips are still in play, and if one of them gets busted, they lose all the bounty chips that are in front of them. So it's very advantageous for Billy, and
But it don't make sense. Every day you're third and chips right now. If you finish third,
it's very
you get
advantageous for
8,000.
Billy and Roger with these
This way you
massive
get
bounties
11,000
to try to talk these
You
players
get
into a
almost
chop.
second place, and you're
And for the shorter bounties, like Ahmad's
No, you
$800
can't.
bounty,
you win 15,000.
15's the most you can win.
Creighton's $375 bounty, this chop doesn't make a
Well,
lot of sense
then
because
you
gotta
still
play
got to
your
play.
money. You gotta
You're
play
risking-
the money.
like I say in Ahmad's shoes, you're risking $800 to potentially
It's the
win
right
a
trophy. Something you
$35
can
or
just right
$5,000
there.
bounty if you
you're
can
in
bust
third
both
place now,
Roger and
but you're
Billy.
11,000.
So
Actually 9,000.
leaving a lot of money on the table here. You do get a decent pay jump from 4,000 to 9,000, but you could get that just in bounties as well as the money from the prize.
Even
Has
is that what we're
ICM
looking
been
at? Yeah.
talked about?
Double check some math.
JJ said he is against ICM. He does not want to do anything associated with
Absolutely, that is
ICM.
very
So
good.
that was brought up a long time ago, and he objected.
Talk to me, I don't mind. I want it.
So let's see what they decide.
Yeah, that
I
is
guess.
correct. 9,974 would be the even chop.
We want to even chop, like I said, 11,000 plus the bounty.
But it ain't 11,000.
Right.
It's almost 10.
It's almost 10. I mean, it's 25 less than 10.
It's more than
So,
third
but
place.
I want everybody to have the information.
It's more than
But
third place.
I can block my player. If you want to play,
It's up to you.
I'm not going to block me.
No problem. If you want to play, let's just
No, he's hustling them.
Chop it now, you get more than third place money. And you
He's
get
trying to
keep
put that
the bounty.
4,000
Put that
bounty
there
in his
too.
pocket.
Keep
I
it
don't
on
blame
there.
him. It's not a bad payday.
You get,
9,000 plus 4,000 plus the money that's already in his pocket from
Yeah.
other bounties he's gotten. It's definitely
He's
the
been
smartest
paid
play.
out 2,000 or 1,700 already.
Just in the final table.
No, for his bounties, he's got 34.25. Half of that is in his pocket.
More than that.
More than that.
anybody in for it.
Maybe closer to 3,000. You get half of their bounty and
Oh,
half of
so
yours.
we're
yeah,
agreeing.
yeah.
Even
Basically
chop,
that
everybody's
minus
going to
100
receive
and half of what they got.
$9,974. We're going to keep our own bounties. Is that the deal?
That's the
Yeah.
deal.
Sound good to everybody? Anybody
That's what it
disagree with
sounds like
that?
they're doing.
Josh has came down and everybody has agreed to chop it. So
That way we all
the
make a good
stars and
pay.
stripes tournament is over. All 5 players remaining are going home with
Let me get a for sure yes from everybody. Is
9,974.
everybody good with this?
I
Let's
think
double
we
check
should tip that.
and make sure that they agree.
Say yes.
All right.
See everybody say, everybody
Guys,
said
push
yes.
all of your bounty
So every
chips
player
forward
gets
for me real quick. I'm going to go ahead and pay those out.
And they get
And
to
I'll go
keep
get
their bounty
started
chip,
on
which
it.
means
Okay.
Billy
I like
taking
375.
home the biggest bounty of $3,425 along with that
Yep.
basic
2,000
$10,000.
in the corner.
He just put $13,400 into his pocket, not to include the money that was already in his pocket from the bounties. So that's a great payday for him. And for all these players, they all played very well, very
Technically,
solid.
Matt
This has
doing
been a
it.
really solid final table. And
I understand what he's saying, but
well done, everybody. Congratulations.
Thank you for tuning in tonight to the DogHouse.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning into our stream.
Appreciate every one of you.
We are coming in from Cypress, the DogHouse Photo Club in Cypress. If you guys are getting a hankering to catch some cards, run some big bluffs, and 3-bet the 7 deuce off, then please come on down to Cypress and
He's got the
show some support.
4
Here
and a quarter.
is
That finishes off.
the tournament you guys just witnessed. We are looking to running another 100K very soon, so please keep in touch and watch social media for our next announcements of our next big tournament. Every one we've had has been a huge success, and we've smashed all the prize pools so far. So if you want to have your potential chance at a $15,000 payday, come on down
Okay,
to
so that's I was over
DogHouse
75
Poker
while ago,
Club
so
in
we
Cypress,
miscounted
Texas.
here. That's
Once
what
again,
it is.
guys, thank y'all so much.
So that's
Me
good
and
now.
AP
34 and a
tuning
quarter
out.
we got here.
Have a good night. Thank you.